Hey Road Trippers, the hoop season is in full swing. Are you using the Sleeper app for daily fantasy basketball? We are. You watch and listen to the podcast, and Rich and Channing have made their Sleeper picks of the week. So get some skin in the game and start playing fantasy basketball on the Sleeper app. Turn your basketball knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app. It's the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other fantasy app, just choose two or more of your favorite players from either pregame or live. It's as easy as that. Again, pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Download and sign up on the Sleeper app today. Use our promo code Road Trippin, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Sleeper is currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Hi.
Oh, hi. Are we ready? I'm just waiting.
Yeah, we're going to do that again. It's not too often for our Road Trippin listeners and viewers that Richard is on time and Channing is not. Having said that, we are going to
dive. Makes me feel so much better. This makes me feel so much better. Do you know, like, it's not even misery loves company. It's just when you get to a space where you're like, oh, yes, good. Fine. It's not misery. Yeah, well, it's miserable because we all want
it's to. It's miserable for us that has to sit here and wait for your ass.
And it makes me nauseous, and I'm sick every time.
You should get Zofran. It's good for nausea. Having said that, it's funny that it took 300 episodes. This is our 300th episode for you to be on time. Yeah, crazy, huh?
This is our 300th? Fuck yeah. First of all, shout out all of you idiots that are still listening after 300 episodes. What is wrong with you guys? We love you because all three of us are idiots. That's what makes it. Well, Allie's an idiot because he is so shit. Do you guys know every single time that anytime we were both at the in-season tournament, and so like it's very rare that we like work together because whatever, Lakers and ESPN. But I did work at Spectrum. Great relationship over there. Shout out my people. Want to make sure we keep that relationship positive. Shout out AJ. You know, but
he's the only one that allowed himself to get in the Spectrum Sportsnet doors, but also allowed himself to walk right out those Spectrum Sportsnet doors.
When your bosses are like, "Yeah, I don't think this is for you anymore. It's probably not the best." And I was like,
"That door kick you in the ass."
I was like, "You're probably right." They're like, "We love you. You're more than welcome to come hang out." But no. What I was gonna say is that every single time, like I get to introduce Allie to my ESPN colleagues that you know, whatever, just through connections, they're always like, I'm so sorry. There's a mutual connection of like Allie looking at Malika and being like, I'm so sorry. And Malika's like, oh, you've worked with them for how many years now? You understand. Like I
actually don't have to say anything anymore. They say it to me and I just chuckle and carry on. Like I continue to ask how they're doing, how their mental well-being is, because when it comes to dealing with this individual, here we are.
And Allie was the first co-host. She was my first person. She hosted this show. So she was the first full-time wrangler of me. And so even our coordinating producer, Hillary Guy, that works at ESPN, that runs runs NBA Today. That's my home girl. I love her. She's the coordinating producer, but Allie's also the host and coordinating producer for the show. So the fact that she's the one texting us, it's 300 episodes.
The irony of all of this is that we're 300 episodes in, and he's known this since episode 1, and yet he still makes my life beautifully miserable.
I'm doing look. People.
I'm kidding. It's true.
No. I know you're kidding. I'm just telling everyone at home that's listening. It's okay to tell everyone you're doing the best you can. You're trying to do better, but you're doing your very best. Right?
Yes, you are. And we give you an A for effort.
Yes.
All right. So we're waiting on Channing. He called his first NBA game of the regular season, and kudos to him. He got to do a Laker versus Victor Wembanyama game. Life is so hard. And he was a part of a 3-man booth. Like, what was his text? I'm actually going to read it right now, and then we'll get his thoughts after. But I reached out on the group text chain, and I said, Channing, how did the game go? Richard put eyes emojis, and he said, honestly, it's fucking awesome and easy. Yeah, when Victor goes for 30, AD gives you another 37-point game. LeBron didn't even play, and it was awesome and easy. Kudos to Channing, so we're excited for him. But he is en route to Atlanta as we speak. So,
I think my biggest issue is that like I start a podcast, then Channing wants to be on the podcast.
Don't even go there. Don't go there. You're such a dick. That is not true, and Channing isn't here, so I'm going to defend him. We're going to move on.
It's only okay. Shout out to the OG listeners that the one time I acted like Channing was in the other side of the room because Channing couldn't record. And so I was, and I was like, "What are we gonna do?" I was like, "We can."
Channing didn't want to record.
Okay, look, I was being nice. See, now I was trying to defend Channing and not rat him out, and I was trying to go on record. She said it. Channing didn't want to record. I said Channing couldn't record because of his mental, emotional stability.
He wasn't fully invested and didn't understand or believe in Road Trippin just yet.
It wasn't even believe. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And I'm like, just trust me. I was like, look, I promise you, we're the first to do it. It's going to be, people are going to love it. He's like, dude, this is fun. We're just talking. And I'm like, yeah, they're at least there's, guess I know some things, people.
So we did a whole episode acting like he was sitting in the room, not talking.
Yes, not talking. And I was like, Channing, are you going to come record? Channing, okay, fine. Well, Channing doesn't want to record. That's what we did every like 5 minutes. We would ask him to come record and ask him if he's going to keep being like that. And then everyone got in the comment sections and started calling him a little bitch. And then he's like, guys, I wasn't here. I wasn't even there. And then Channing got mad at me because I didn't know.
He was so mad. Like, went to his agent.
I didn't know it was going. But at least he found out Road Trippin has some fans. He found out that Road Trippin had some fans. He found out the hard way.
Shout out to all of you who have been sticking with
you
us
guys.
300 episodes. That's exciting.
Yes.
We won't take this entire episode.
Yeah,
obviously, we're geeks about it.
What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode?
Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite episode was the flight from Boston to Atlanta.
Ooh.
When people ask this question, or just like fans in general, when I tell people my favorite episode, it's that one, because as I go on to tell why, we had Richard, Channing, Allie, Kyrie, LeBron, JR, Tristan, and like 9 bottles of wine consumed in a 2.5-hour flight. Like it was epic. The stories, we took over that section. Obviously, the athletic trainers hated us. They were so mad. In fact, we stopped recording on the airplane after that episode. Having said that, I did want to also murder everyone because each individual came up to me with edits that they needed taken out because the wine may have taken over. But it was so awesome. It was like you were literally on top of the world.
You know what?
It was so fun.
I'm going to do a social media post and say, this is the greatest single sports podcast that was ever recorded. That's a claim. But think about it. Why?
Oh, that episode?
That episode might be the single greatest because we recorded it right after a game, and it was a close game for Boston. I think we'd won a game. It was a close game.
Didn't you? What? Boston Tea Party?
We were. No, we didn't. Oh, maybe. No, I don't know what year. Don't call it. She's saying that she's talking about the Boston Tea Party because she's making a reference to me teabagging Terry Rozier and him throwing the ball at my head. Terry, nothing but respect. That's not, even his boys was getting on me after the game. Love Terry Rozier, but that was your joke. But this is what I'm saying. We lose that game, and I think it was mind-blowing for people. It was mind-blowing for people because we literally dropped it the morning after the game. So, like, we recorded it, dropped it the next morning. Shout out to Allie and all the podcasts. So it's like, I dare a single podcast to show me a lineup like that in one podcast. Show me a lineup in one podcast like that. Now, obviously, they were our teammates. There's
doesn't matter. It's not our fault.
But don't matter. Don't matter. Everybody wants to talk about who started this shit. Everybody wants to talk about this. Well, show me somebody else recording on a plane. Channing,
there he is.
There's the man of the hour.
Doug.
Channing, we are talking about, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to tee you up. Now, square up your face. I know you got the little narrow face. Square it up.
He's having a beer. I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, so I ran. They were like, Mr. Fry said, throw me the envelope. So the Four Seasons is packed. The traffic in Atlanta is a monster.
Yes. Yes.
Square up.
Welcome.
We can only see half your face. Other way.
Yeah. So Channing, I'm making a bold claim here. I'm making a bold claim here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Make sure he knows why.
The bold claim is this is our 300th episode. This is our 300th episode that we're recording. We have the single greatest podcast lineup of all time. Of all time. On the flight from Boston to, where were we going? Dallas or
Atlanta.
Something? Atlanta. So it was like a 2-hour flight, 2.5-hour flight. It's Tristan, you, me, Allie, Bron, Kyrie, Shump,
JR.
and JR.
Damn.
All on one podcast. All passing the mic. All lit up.
9 bottles of wine.
Crushed it.
That's it?
Just to let you guys know how special and how intense it was, because on the other side of the table was the training staff, and they told us we could never do that again. They was like, you guys could, like, they're like, we have to stay out here for 2 hours doing bags. Shout out my guy Gio. Shout out Steve Spiro. Cobra. Like, they were like, fuck you guys. And immediately we respected that. We were like, oh, because we'd done it once before, and then that one got really big and out of control. And we weren't in the player section because women are not allowed up there. Allie is not allowed up in that section, so we couldn't record up there. You know, that we keep that separate. So we went to like the middle section where like the training staff and sometimes the coaches play cards, and we recorded there. We did that twice, and the second time when we had 9 people, they were like, fuck off, guys.
Yeah, it was a lot. Because I remember, I think at the end it started to get a little slurry.
Yeah, all the edits started.
There were some inbounds starting to get dropped. It was an MF. It was a lot of things that had to get bleeped and edited out.
Having said that, Channing, congrats on 300 episodes. We were just kind of obviously taking a trip down memory lane, but we also included in that the fact that it took 300 episodes for Richard to finally be on time and you not be on time, but it was because you called your first NBA game. Congratulations.
Rich was right. It's tight.
How was it?
It's tight.
Hang on. I was talking, and so I want you to say that out loud so I'm not interrupting you. What did you just say?
It was really fucking tight.
What'd you say before that, though?
Huh?
What'd you say before that?
It was really fucking tight.
Nah, Richard was right.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Oh my!
Well, doing with Greg Anthony, it doesn't, like, we already joke around, and the funny part is getting Pop and then getting Darvin Ham. Like, when you get to talk to them, you're just like, "Oh, what's up?" And Pop's like, "Here we go," and just explains it all. And then literally in the game, everything that he explained to you happens. And he's cussing and shit. And Darvin Ham, the same thing. And so, like, as a player to go to have a chance to talk to coaches before a game, they literally will tell you what's going to happen. It's crazy. They're like, yep, this player's going to do X and this is going to happen, or this player's going to do that, and he's pretty good. And, like, also the game last night was sick. Dude, watching Victor in person is bananas. Not because of, like, his skill, but he got a little tick inside him too now, where, like, he's a dog.
Oh, you can see some Giannis in him. You can see some Giannis.
Well, I don't know if he got that much anger. Just don't take the ball.
I love Giannis. See, Giannis got the best. He's got the best anger intensity. Maybe my favorite one. Right?
Hang on, save it. Let Channing finish, and then we'll get to it.
So, like, watching AD go to work was awesome. I always feel good. Like, it always makes you feel good. When he twisted his ankle, we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you saw Braun looking at him like, man, fix that goddamn ankle. Fix that shit. And he was like, all right. And he goes out and kills. And then I said it on air, the beginning of that third quarter, they ran a play and they didn't even get through the action. Somebody jacked up a 3. And I was like, well, there goes the Lakers' momentum. And then the Spurs came back. But watching Wemby and Keldon Johnson, who I like a lot, he had no points in the first 12 minutes that he played, wasn't doing nothing. Pop yelled at him. Then he had 28. So it's like, where the hell did this come from? But, dude, the Lakers are good. Y'all just, God, watching y'all just clank so many threes hurts my soul. It's just, and they are butt naked joints, like not even nowhere near y'all. But you're big. You're a big team. And then, when I'm in studio, it's a different feel. Being there and doing it, I was like, oh, shit, okay, I can do this. It was great.
His vibe, I love his vibe to this.
Hey, Channing, you know what the best thing? You know what the best thing is? Best thing is?
When the game's over, you're done.
Yes! That
Dude,
is the best.
It is the best.
When I'm with the Nets, I go to the lounge and I grab a whiskey soda and then walk out to my car. I am in my car headed back to the city with a cocktail before most of the fans have even left the arena. It is amazing. Like
it's amazing.
Studio, you're there all day, not doing anything. This, you get to watch a basketball game, be engaged in a basketball game, and when that bitch is over, you're over. That is amazing. No post-game hits. It's just done.
You know what it is? I figured it out. It's like when you do the game, you can you're not giving broad strokes. You're like regurgitating what your eyes are seeing. And then in studio, I was telling, who was I telling? GA, like Greg Anthony. I was like, you got to be one of three people. You got to be an entertainer, meaning you're going to just say, big bubbles, right? Nothing granular. This was a good game. He played a bad game. And you're going to stick to those things, right? Or you have to be a host, like Ernie, like Allie. Or you got to be a detail, like structure guy. This is why explaining the numbers, like the stats. So like if you look at Shaq and Charles, they're entertainers. They're going to say, no matter what the score is, this guy stunk or this guy's amazing. They're not talking about the ins and outs, where Kenny talks about the ins and outs. But like during the game, you got to be a little bit of all that quickly.
Yeah. Well, you have that.
Yeah, and that's why that show is done so well. People don't actually want to break it down because they're so enamored by the entertainment, and rightfully so, because those guys are awesome. Yeah. But they've got the perfect puzzle. Shout out to Ernie, obviously, just being inducted to the Hall of Fame, finally, rightfully so. But that's why that is so gold, is because you got all the right pieces to that perfect recipe.
Yeah, and they're funny, right? And they watch, but they're also like, it's just true. They don't watch all the NBA. They watch the best teams. They're not watching the Pistons right now, right? Yeah. They're not watching. They'll watch the Spurs, obviously, because it's on TV, but they don't watch bad teams. They only watch good teams. So
they're not
when they see a bad team, they're just like, oh, what is it? Oh. They only eat Wagyu beef, right? Where we take it whatever we can.
Yeah.
Channing, you have the ability, and I told you a while ago, I was like, Channing, once you get in the game calling, man, it is so much fun because you get to be locked in on two teams, what's going on in this game. Getting to talk to the coaches helps you so much.
Dude, I had all these notes, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I used the notes twice.
Yeah,
because Hop and Darvin told me everything.
Yeah, you got to have the notes in front of you. You got to have
I had them in front. It helps. No,
I'm saying you never look at them. You rarely look at the notes.
Unless it's coming out of a commercial. Yeah. Unless it's coming out of a commercial, and you're like, oh man, there was, AD was leading the league in point or in minutes, and then we were talking about why doesn't a championship game count unless it's its own number, right?
Yeah.
So like, if every year they're like, here are IST numbers. You go into the IST Hall of Fame after 10 years if you play and are in it 10 times. So that's why they were saying that's why it's a different number than everything else.
Yeah. The last thing is how, and also this is people don't understand. You can have all of your notes that you prepare for the game, and then you do a production meeting, and they will take your notes and build out graphics. So a lot of times you look at your note because you're like, oh, AD is doing X, Y, and Z. And they're like, okay, we're going to build a graphic. So then at some point in time, we can pop that up on the screen and then you can talk about it. So then, even then, that means you're going to use your notes less because your note is going to be in a graphic. So it's like your notes are 100% fucking what you need to have in front of you, but you only get to use a small portion because half of it gets picked apart and used in the broadcast naturally.
Yeah, I didn't read the email right, and so I actually missed the production meeting. My first one. They were like, Channing, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? They're like, oh, you missed the speaker. I was like, oh, shit.
I did the same thing.
Look, anyone that's in our industry knows that calling games is no small feat. So kudos to you. I'm sure we'll continue to see it down the road, and always have your notes ready, because that moment you get a blowout game, they'll be nice to have.
That's what you need.
Oh, dude. Blowout game? I was ready. I thought last night was going to be a blowout.
There was potential until Victor Wembanyama became Victor Wembanyama. And that
no, it was Keldon first, and then Victor. When Victor got dunked on, then Victor looked at Keldon looked at Victor like, "Yo, let's go," and then Victor was like, "Okay." And when he started booming on people with the left hand, and then the tip dunk was crazy. Like, it looks like a Nerf hoop to this dude. Yeah. His arms are fully stretched out like this, dunking. And you could see his head by the rim. And you're like, God, like, he's 19 years old.
Channing, you're huge. Channing, you're 7 fucking foot.
Did you go up to him? Did you go by him?
Yeah. Dude, his hand, we were looking at how he grabs a ball. You know how Kawhi's hands look big? His hands look like this on a basketball. Like, his hands are so big, how he shoots, the ball starts from here, and it all the way rolls. It was crazy. We were dissecting this whole game. And we're like, what is he? That's what we asked Coach Pop. Is he a 5? Is he a 3? Is he a 4? And Coach Pop was like, shit, we don't even know. Because Pop was like, dude, we have to teach him face-up jab steps because he's only been taught system stuff, right? In Europe, they teach skills, but they don't teach individual one-on-one skills. So like Pop is teaching him how to be a one-on-one player. He's used to curling or diving or, shooting step back threes. So like, what is he? And I'm thinking he's going to end up being a 3-man. He'll play 5s, but he's a 3-man, which is disgusting to think about.
Yeah.
Hey, Road Trippers, the hoop season is in full swing. Are you using the Sleeper app for daily fantasy basketball? We are. You watch and listen to the podcast, and Rich and Channing have made their Sleeper picks of the week. So get some skin in the game and start playing fantasy basketball on the Sleeper app. Turn your basketball knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app. It's the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other fantasy app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from either pregame or live. It's as easy as that. Again, pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Download and sign up on the Sleeper app today. Use our promo code Road Trippin, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Sleeper is currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Steph Curry makes you believe you can do anything, and the Curry 11s are specifically designed with ultimate bounce, grip, and stability to allow everyone to do their thing. New generations of ball players are coming up and showing the basketball world that the old rules do not apply. The future is exciting, fast, positive, and hungry. This NBA season, rock with your favorite player and rep his shoes on and off the court. The Curry 11s are perfect for both the committed and casual ballers. The UA Warp Tech makes the shoe feel like it was designed for your feet, locked in no matter what you do on the court. Stop in your tracks with dual density UA flow cushioning and traction. It's an emergency brake you don't even notice. Steph's 11th signature shoe steps into the second decade of his sneaker career, pulling colorway inspiration from the wonders of a positive and modernized future on and off the court. Take these kicks with you when you leave the scrimmage and rep Under Armour wherever you go. So do your thing. Change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curry is available now at currybrand.com. This bustling holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, flavorful meals to fuel you on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you eat well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-do lists. You can cross meal prepping off your list this holiday season with Factor. Skip the meal planning, grocery shopping, chopping, prepping, and cleaning up, and get Factor's fresh and never frozen meals delivered to your door. They're ready in 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat up and enjoy. So what are you waiting for, road trippers? Head to factormeals.com/roadtrippin50 and use the code roadtrippin50 to get 50% off. That's code roadtrippin50 at factormeals.com/roadtrippin50 and get 50% off today. So having said that, I know that you've spent time on the plane. You've had your phone out. You've been paying attention to what else happened in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
This is probably the most easy episode to prepare for. Shout out to our producer as well, Jeremiah, helping with this. But I want to dive into the Giannis and Pacers fun, and then also the latest with Draymond Green. So I do want to start first with Giannis. Just for those that may be tuning in and don't have obviously a background of this, Giannis drops a record performance last night, scored 64. The record by Michael Redd was originally 58 for the Bucks. They won 141-26 at home against the Pacers. I think there's some key to there as well. After the game, Giannis went to get the game ball, but it had already been given to the Pacers as Indiana's rookie, Oscar Tshiebwe, scored his first points of his NBA career earlier in the game. There was an altercation in the Pacers tunnel after the game. Pacers GM got elbowed in the ribs, according to Indiana's head coach, obviously, Rick Carlisle. Where do we begin? That's just, I obviously just want to lay it out there.
Let's start with the end.
Let's
start with the result.
Get him,
They said, "Oh, Giannis, you finna run up on us? Oh, guess who we got?" And they went and got James Johnson. Listen, come on, run up in here again. They said, "Run up in my shit one more time." Hiya! Hiya! You're dead. You're dead. You know what I'm saying? Listen, hey, Pacers, and this is not me. I would have booted that motherfucking ball so far. If you're not gonna bust my ass, then debo our team for the basketball afterwards. Nah, homie, no.
That's what I'm trying to tell people.
What?
No.
See, I'm trying to tell people.
No, that's my ball. That's my ball.
That's my rookie's ball.
No,
done.
I
would tell you, Allie.
I disagree with that take.
Okay,
Allie, I would have ripped that ball up. Ripped the ball.
The amount of pettiness. Oh, you could disagree.
That's fine, yeah. 100%.
100%. Yeah, I 100%. What I am expressing to you is within that culture, the level of pettiness and fuck you is beyond. It's beyond people's really true imagination.
Allie, you're not going to shoot. You're not going to elbow us. You fucked up Halliburton.
Did you see the Halliburton clip? Did you see the Halliburton clip?
Yes.
No, I'm talking about Allie hadn't seen it. Allie hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen it this morning, and I have now since, yes.
Yeah, okay. That was a message, wasn't it? He fucked him up.
Yes.
Wow. Like, he was like, the look on Tyrese's face, who is known as the nicest guy in the world, was like, yo, bro, what the fuck? Even Giannis recognized, Giannis was like, yo, that was a little too much. My bad. Giannis apologized. But he was sending a motherfucking message at the end of the day.
Because they lost last time. People forget the Pacers beat them and was doing this. People forget Indiana was doing this. And Dame said, be humble. Right? Because you never know when it's going to come back around. So you don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks were like, how do we lose to these scrubs? So what I'm saying is, so that's the end part. Here's what I love. I love that Giannis, listen, turned into the Hulk. Anger. All that. Love it. Yeah. Love it. Number two, you know what I love? They don't fuck with each other at all. This is what you want. These games, these boring ass games in December, people are hot. People don't want to fuck with each other right now. I'm here for it. I want this. Everybody wants this. This makes my job great. It's not like, oh, good job, good win. They remember in the IST when they were running the score up on their ass. It's competition. This is great.
The IST started this shit. The IST started this. If you think about this, knocking them out of that, talking that shit, having the media attention, all of that shit, having these guys having to get up on the podium talking about they knocked you off. Did you see the Dame time thing? Did you think about all this stuff? All of that energy now gets transferred to another regular season game in December, and everybody was watching this game, and it did not disappoint.
Okay, so you guys like all the hype, you like all the competition. Fair. Love it. Me too. I'm a big fan of the in-season tournament. In fact, I have a tweak for next year. Having said that, when it comes to this singular moment of a rookie scoring his first points and Giannis being who we know, this MVP, this champion.
What team am I on? What team am I on?
You're the Pacers.
Oh, so that's the side you're taking because I need to know.
Yes.
Chase Budinger wrote on your post, Richard. Since when do rookies get the game ball after scoring their first point? That's my exact.
The Indiana Pacers.
You all are a bunch of petty ass motherfuckers.
Yes, that's what they all are.
Edit that.
They are all that way. That's what we're trying to tell you.
I would have made something. I would have said, "Oh, this is our GM's 400th game." I would have made anything up. And low key, if I had a knife, I would have ripped that ball up. I would have ripped that ball up. No, you're not getting that ball.
You know how petty they are? This is how petty they are. The Milwaukee Bucks are the home team.
I know.
They went to their court, lost to them, and said, "That's my ball, punk," and left. That is gangster. That is gangster. And they have a legitimate excuse that is now, like, they did a whole thing about, like, what's right. The fact that we are even having to have a conversation means that a rookie's first fucking points, don't just gloss over that. A rookie's first hit in baseball, a rookie's first home run in baseball, those are all things that are gone and captured wherever they are.
I'm not glossing over it, but let's not act like it's set in stone and it's a rule that we get the ball when we score our first point.
It's not a rule.
They took the ball.
If we had the gesture,
that's what you acted like in your little post.
Yeah, and I didn't say it was a rule. I said that once they gave the ball to that kid, that shit is his, bro. I understand. Giannis should have that ball. If we're talking about the hierarchy of the NBA, yes. But at the same point in time, if the Pacers got the ball and we're giving it to their rookie for his first fucking NBA points, fuck that.
You said Giannis should ask him how much money he wants for the ball back.
No, okay, now, Channing. Now, it's because Allie didn't really fully understand this. If a player shows up to another team, right? If a player gets traded and he wants his number, how do you get that number?
Yeah, you have to pay him for it.
But it's also a gesture. It's a gesture. I can say
gestures, but it's not the same.
I'm not saying it's the same. What I'm saying is this is what I said. If Giannis were to text a young fella, like, "Hey, young fella, man, I want to say congratulations. Tell me what it's going to cost. You need me to buy you a car? You want me to buy you
Allie, what is the car to him?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I'm saying now this kid can get some sort of momentum. Giannis got me this Rolex. So I got this Rolex from Giannis for my first fucking NBA point. Right? Like this is a gesture that you can do. Hey, you want a Ferrari, kid? Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm saying, like, you got to give me a little something. It's not 10K. We talk about it got to be the 25, 50, 100 range.
Gave him something. 64 piece.
Oh, yeah, also, hey, we are not bringing up a big point. The Pacers cleared their bench the last 4 minutes of the game. The Bucks kept in their starters.
No, but they came back. I know,
but they came back. But here's the thing. They came back, but then when they started to go up, he kept the starters in. So, like, to put the starters in and keep them, and Giannis doesn't have an off switch, right? So Giannis is the worst person to be in a game, especially when the game is out of hand. He's going.
So I love it about him.
You love it, but you also go, hey, you love it unless you're the Pacers. You go, man, fuck this dude. Hey, somebody's like, man, hey, man, go get that ball real quick. Fuck this dude.
Just like, no different than Adrian Griffin was like, hey, man, go get the record. You're 2 points away from the record. And he was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because Giannis is also.
Remember?
Go
ahead. I was gonna say, do you remember Jamal Murray when he had his record in Denver and Kyrie booted the ball?
Yeah, but what did Kyrie do? No, you ain't getting that ball.
No,
Kyrie was like, no, you ain't getting that ball. Threw it in the stands. I think he ended up getting it. But that's petty. Think about the petty to that, Allie. Like he just hit like whatever thing, and you're not agreeing with it. But I can give you a billion more examples of that level of petty. They are competitive petty. Allie, you have been Allie. Think about this. You have been around so many NBA teams. Would people be surprised the amount of shit that people talk about other players, even ones that people think are friends?
No.
Okay. So
No.
petty, these part my sarcasm is just a part of my pettiness. That's how I show it off. That's it.
Okay, question. Why can't they give them the ball? Okay, so this is actually really
the minute you say give the ball, the minute you say give
No, it's
the
not
ball,
after the game. Listen to me. Listen. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
You guys warm up with 100 balls. Take that out. Edit that. 100 basketballs, okay? All these different, like last week, the ball gets wine spilled on it, right? In the Phoenix Laker game. And Braun was like, absolutely not. I don't want to change basketballs. There's wine all over this basketball, right?
Clean it off. Dry it off.
Why is that such a big deal? Because also in that moment, like after Giannis breaks the record or after the rookie gets his first points, why don't they just give him the basketball and change out basketballs?
No, you don't change out
the next time out.
No, you're not changing out the basketball.
No, you're not changing the basketball in the middle of a gameplay. I don't give a fuck who it was.
It's like a golfer switching golf balls.
I'm not. They might have changed basketballs for Braun just to make sure that he had it, so he got that basketball. Right?
Breaking the record?
Breaking the record. They might have done that just for a specific, that ball is like.
But it has to be something like that is what you're saying.
It has to be something like that. Not
it would alleviate Giannis going all Hulk and running into the locker room post-game.
It was actually two balls. It was actually two balls.
Yeah, but there's a backup ball. So they give you a ball and there's a backup ball. So if something does get spilled, they don't have to go find the ball. There's one ready to go.
There is one there.
There's one ready to go at all points in time. So there is two technical game balls, but there's only one that's actually being used for the majority of the time. The other one's just the alternate if it's sitting there. But at the end of the day, the only way to solve this, the Pacers can say, fuck you. They can't. We got the ball now. What the fuck?
Well, clearly they did.
Yeah, they can. And they did. And they will continue to do that. Do you guys not remember the Giannis and the ladder accident? Do you guys not remember the ladder accident where they were trying to put it up and he wants to shoot? And I was like, he's not the home team. He does not entitled to that. He is in this case. And that shows you the level of petty that's going on with the Pacers.
Fair.
But they have a legitimate excuse.
Okay, fair. Love it.
It's less about the ball and it's more about Giannis wanting to punk them and establish dominance. You ever seen a dog try to mount another dog? That's what he tried to do, and the Pacers like,
But he's not trying to punk them. They got petty, and he tried to get his ball back.
He don't know petty. He just knows physicality.
Yeah. So look, I stand by.
Fuck that
ball. The best way for this to be resolved, without a doubt, is just for a gesture from Giannis, because Giannis needs to understand. Respectfully, you are fucking maybe the best player on the planet in the world. You are a first ballot Hall of Famer, unanimous. You are going to have a million. But I'm saying, all of these things, bro, all you have to do is give a gesture. This kid might never have a memory. He might not have, if he's got the game ball and it's 1 point, whatever, you still just give a kid a gesture, right? Like, that's all. Just give a gesture. Like, hey, here's a Rolex, bro. Pick your watch. And I'll buy it for you. Now you can forever have this as a memory from your first versus the game ball. That's everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Nice in the sandbox. All right. All right, guys. Who are your sleeper picks of the week? Let's take this energy right into here. Each of you are going to give the audience a player you think is primed to go off this week and score more than their sleeper app projections.
My sleeper pick for this week is going to be Kawhi Leonard. He is the best player that nobody is talking about and absolutely leading this young Clippers team, this old Clippers team, to working its way up. I didn't think it would work, but Kawhi must have whispered something in everyone's ear like, this is my team, and he'd been balling. Check out the Clippers.
Trey Lyles.
What? Richard. Stop
Road
that.
Trippin sleeper picks of the week are sponsored by Sleeper Fantasy. Download the Sleeper app and use the promo code Road Trippin for a deposit match for up to $100. Terms and conditions apply.
And for you guys, Channing and Trey Lyles got their foreheads so close. It looked like a 90s rom-com where they're about to kiss. Do you remember when I posted that on Snapchat? I posted that with the kiss me.
You guys are on one today. All right, this is how we're going to wrap up this episode. We're not wrapping it up. We got about 15 minutes before y'all got to run.
Cool.
To a much more concerning topic, if you will. Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely.
Okay.
For the incident with Jusuf Nurkić, but obviously a situation that is not just singular. Thoughts, concerns?
One.
How do you see it?
I thought that was exactly the right thing because for you, it's like, okay, you suspend him. He's still rich. He's just going to go home and fester on the things that he thinks he didn't do. Now you're like, dude, you're embarrassing the league. You can't embarrass the league. That's the problem. You're the only one who acts like this. The only one consistently. And let's be real, your team isn't good. If he was an all-star caliber player and this was just part of his, put it this way, DeMarcus Cousins is a all-time talented big man. And at times, his antics got bigger than his game. And right now, Draymond Green's antics are bigger than his game. And the NBA says, well, we don't act like we need you. We don't need you. We got a whole new school of players. Clay isn't what he used to be. Steph is exhausted and frustrated. Wiggins doesn't even know it's a basketball season. There's no development from their younger guys, right? Like the Warriors are struggling. And you're going to throw this on top of that? What are you doing? You got to know your play. If you were 72 and 10, 81 and 1, whatever it was, 73 and 9, you know what? They're going to let some of this shit ride because you're good for the brand of the league. But when your team is, what are they, 11th? No. No. It's enough. Enough is enough. And it just doesn't, it comes out of nowhere. And the problem is, he's going to boot the wrong European, and they're going to punch him right in his face.
No, nobody wants to spend money.
This is also true. But he does be beating up on the Europeans.
No,
Bonus, Gobert, Nurkic, right?
He learned that lesson with North Americans with Tristan.
No, he also learned that lesson with Big Stu. He tried to hemp up Beef Stew. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I want that. You saw what Beef Stew tried to do to Patrick Beverly. Well, listen.
What do you have to? Obviously, the league is going to. There's certain things that Draymond now has to do that's been reported because obviously the league is citing this as repeated history. But you've been ejected 3 times in the first quarter of the season, 2 now having served suspensions because of. What do you think he has to do to prove that? What does this look like? Will we see Draymond again this season?
Yeah, we're going to see Draymond. I think we'll see him in maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, right? 15 games, I think we'll see him. 15 games from now.
Oh, yeah, well, because and Joe Dumars said, he's like, we don't want to put a time on it because we want him to get the help that he needs. We believe, he has some issues that he needs to address, whether it's anger management, whatever it is. And look, sponsors don't like that stuff. Like, all press ain't good press. It ain't good press. That's why we ended up with a dress code. That's why David Stern got rid of all the fighting. That's why they picked up the pace and got rid of the physicality. You can't sell fights. This ain't hockey, right? You can't sell fights, especially with fans being that close, right? Where it spills over into crowds. You can't sell that. The NBA took a huge hit when the Malice in the Palace, with players that was huge. That was a hit from advertising, marketing, branding, everything. The NBA shut that shit down. And it's like, we have not mentioned Ja Morant in the Memphis Grizzlies. He's one of he at any point in time can be a top 5 player in the world. Like that's who John Morant is. And his name hasn't been mentioned. It is a gift. It's an honor to play in this league. And some people aren't respecting that. Dre's not respecting that. He's not above every other player's safety. That's the part for me. You don't get to dictate everyone else's safety. And the players, actually, the NBA PA is looking at the NBA. Players Association can't suspend them. So no matter how many players go to the head of the Players Association and say, Andre, what are we going to do about this guy? The NBA has to do something. That's why the Players Association, they didn't fight it, an indefinite suspension. The Players Association was like, cool, he needs to get the help that he needs because we need to protect everyone involved. This ain't just about the help that he needs. The league is not going to cater to him. It's about protecting the players too. Because what if he drags a 7-footer and he gets hurt? What if he stomps on someone's chest and they get hurt? What if you swing like that and hit somebody in a temple and they actually get hurt or get a concussion and they got to miss time? There's difference between something like an incident or an accident happening and a player getting hurt. I've gotten elbows to my face before and had to get stitches. And you doing things that putting players in danger from doing extra shit. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I just think when that many players who have played against you or played with you are like, well, I just hope he gets the help he needs. Because the things that he's doing are not, they're not happenstance. Yeah, but it's not just that. It's like these physical plays happen throughout a game and your tornado twist punching or you're stepping on somebody's chest and acting like that's not what you're. Why is it only you? You're the one that's choked. When's the last time we saw another player choke out another player? When's the last time we seen a player step on another player's chest on purpose? When's the last time we see somebody do Zangief's twisty, punchy thing?
What a reference. Shout out Street Fighter. Oh, I love me some Zangief. Oh, I love Zangief.
Dude.
Allie
but like
no idea what we're talking about.
No idea. Allie,
no, she just can't. Oh, Street Fighter.
It seems like his ego is bigger than his production. And let's be real, he's ruined a couple games, more than a couple games for the Golden State Warriors. They were playing OKC. I was watching that game. They're down 3. Why did he foul? Chet Holmgren? Fouled him while he was shooting. They end up losing that game. There was another game. He fouls out in important time. Lost another one. So for me, it's like you got to understand where your position is in this league, and his position is not where it was. Where you were is not where you are. So come on over here and sit down.
Yeah, sit down. As a person that enjoys playing the heel and playing the hateable character, love it. I don't give a shit. He's going a little too far. And that was some of the stuff. Is like, I'm going to be Draymond. How are these people going to tell me not? Because, like, you can hide behind being a champion. And when I say hide, I mean that, like, you will get extra grace because you are a champion. Like, hey, if this fire leads to him being a champion, then so be it, if that's what it takes. But then it just starts creeping into this extra space. And you're like, bro, champion or not, you don't get to behave that way. In the NBA, they weren't. And the Rudy Gobert was such a bad look for the league, was such a bad look. Like, it wasn't like there was no injury to Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert was fine, but the look of one of their players that is marketed by the NBA. We see Draymond in NBA-sponsored commercials. And this dude, in between, like a video of him choking a player, is now selling cars. Right? It's like, that, no. Like, that's not how this league works. And we've all competed against Draymond. We've worked with him. We've done stuff. Draymond is not a bad dude. Right. Like, there's some assholes that are super sweet on the court. You get them off the court, I wouldn't want to be around them under any circumstance. Draymond is not that guy, right? It's just when he gets on the court, competitiveness gets the worst of him, and then you start to see this behavior, man. And I hope he gets it right because, unfortunately, this behavior is directly tied to the success of Steph Curry. Directly.
Who looks gassed, by the way.
Yes. Yes, because he's having to work harder. He doesn't have his squad around him. So, like, Draymond getting his shit together is directly tied to Steph Curry's success.
One final point on this, well said by the both of you. Is this the end of the Warriors?
Nah. Yep.
No.
Not because of this specifically, but have we?
You still got Steph Curry. If you got Steph Curry, it ain't over. It ain't over.
Dude, this team, this is not a championship level team.
Yeah.
They have big holes in this team. Now, Steph, Steve, I still holding out hope for Clay, still holding out hope. But what I'm seeing is that age has caught up. We are trying to put the Warriors where LeBron is. Oh man, you can do this 10 years in a row and you're not going to get hurt. You're not going to get tired. These dudes are exhausted. And they're looking at the bench going, shit, who am I going to have that can just play with us? That's at our levels or going to help us get better. It's the first year. Their bench is ho-hum. Wiggins not playing at his full capacity hurts a lot. Clay not having his full capacity hurts a lot. Draymond not even there. And then Steph having to play true point guard. Steph has never been a point guard. The reason why their system works is Steve Kerr made Andre and Draymond and other people the guy who had the ball the most. If you look how many turnovers that Steph has, it's crazy. The other game I watched, they had 25 turnovers in an NBA game. Come on.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
When it comes to you talked about as you go through kind of all of that, and then Rich, you talk about how this is tied to Steph, and what'd you say, to his legacy, to his success?
No, to the success. Like Steph Curry can still be the best player on the championship team.
Is what we're seeing from Draymond a reflection of Steph's leadership?
Oh, I read that too. I don't know if that would mean. Okay, so here's a discussion we had. We have never heard Steph really ever speak up and be that type of leader. So why would he do that now? I don't think you could just magically be that guy. The leaders of the group, you would see more Andre, you would see more Draymond, you would see more, whether that was Bogut or whoever that was. Those were the leaders within the locker room, and Steph gets to be Steph, right? For me, Draymond acting up, you got little Steph, who he hasn't talked to Draymond the whole time. When Draymond was cussing out KD, you didn't see Steph go talk to him. Who'd you go see go talk to him? Andre, right? Like, I don't think that's his thing. That's not a knock on Steph. I just don't think you could just say, oh, your brother's acting bad, go take care of him. He said, man, he's always been bad. Steph didn't speak up when he punched Jordan Poole. Steph didn't speak up when he was kicking people in the wee-wee. Steph didn't speak up like he don't speak up about him. So don't expect him to do that now.
Steph is a leader. But he's not.
He is a leader, yes.
He is a leader, but he is not that leader, right? There's leaders that lead by example. There's leaders that lead by how they talk. Draymond is a vocal, energy, and competitive leader in that locker room. So they lead in very different ways. Draymond has gotten, many, many times, out of control. I don't think Steph's personality is one that can control Draymond. Steve Kerr, this man's been around everyone. Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, David, what I'm saying? Like, he's been around everyone. Steve Kerr can't control him, right? Bob Myers can't control him. Andre Iguodala, which we know is one of the smartest, most level-headed people on the planet, even though he's crazy, right? He can't control. No one can. Joe Dumars. He grew up with Joe Dumars when he was at Michigan State. He was friends with Joe Dumars' family, but like as a Michigan guy, Joe Dumars is the one that's having to hand down the suspension a month after handing down a 5-game suspension. So, like, I'm not going to say Steph and criticize Steph's leadership when he has LeBron, Rich Paul, all of these influential, powerful people that care about him and want to see him succeed, and that's not what's going on. And so I'm not going to jump and say Steph needs to be a better leader when all of these people that have been trying to get through to him aren't getting through to him.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, guys, really quick. This is how we're going to end the episode, and then I'll let you go. Obviously, speaking of Steph, give us your top players from last week. These are your Under Armour game changers of the week. Which player or coach impressed you the most?
I would say the player that impressed me the most, we talked about Jamal Mosley last time, but I would say most recently I've been very impressed with Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, I know this is a Lakers thing, but Darvin Ham to me, winning that, doing that, like even what you can say what you want. Sometimes a coach, his job is to not fuck it up and not get in the way. And Channing and I both when coaches like, yo, this system works. Why is he fucking up? Well, he wants to do this and he's stubborn. Like Darvin Ham figuring out a way, getting his team back. I think people are starting to see that, Darvin Ham can do it. So he's been that guy for me.
AD. We talked to AD, he said he's really feeling in a rhythm. I know. And dude, watching him yesterday, I was just like, this dude got his fire is back. I don't know what happened, or maybe it was the in-season tournament, but his fire is back. So I was like, woo, he's going to be a problem. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be a problem.
Good problem to have. Road Trippin's Game Changers of the Week are sponsored by Under Armour. Do your thing, change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curries are available now at currybrand.com. It's another edition of Road Trippin.